Good morning and welcome back to Spurs Latest. I am your host, Trip Graham. So happy to have you here today. Had so much to talk about in the NBA, so much going on with our Spurs. Another big victory last night over the Pistons and our boy Victor Wembanyama, the future face of the NBA, just destroying the Pistons. And Cade Cunningham after a potential finals matchup. What a game. Really, let's get into it. Let's go. So big things. Victor Wembanyama had 38 points, 16 rebounds, and 5 blocks as the San Antonio Spurs never trailed in a complete sweep of the Pistons. They beat the Pistons 121 to 106 on Thursday night. De'Aaron Fox had 29 points, and Stephon Castle had 11 points with 12 assists, really stepping up big from the point guard position for us. It was just an unbelievable game. It was San Antonio's first game at home after nearly a month. And in that month, we are now just on the fast track to the NBA Finals and the playoffs. We are destroying the league. We are, winning 13 of the last 14. The only loss we had was last Sunday against the Knicks. Only no losses in the whole month of February. Just destroyed February. And we Pistons were trying to get back at us after beating them in our last game against them. Potential finals matchup, and we destroyed once again. Just destroyed. All right. The other big things for this game were, Thompson did go down for Detroit in 2 minutes into the game. Really tough for them to, that is one of their best defenders. But we shot really well from three. We shot 13 of 37. Just an unbelievable game for us. We beat them 114 to 103 against them on February 23rd in that month stretch where we did not lose the game. And we now remain second still in the Western Conference at 45 and 17. An unbelievable mark that we are hitting. We are going to get to those 50 games pretty easily on the season. So very excited about that. Excuse me. Just absolutely rolling this season. Everyone, it was a team performance last night, and that was really an NBA Finals matchup potential. With our two stars getting over 25 points, and Castle stepping up from the point guard position, going 11 and 12. Which reminded me of like those old school Chris Paul days, those maybe a Rajon Rondo days. Chris Paul and Rajon Rondo is great people to be compared to. Stephon Castle, you definitely stepped up in that position. Unbelievable game from Stephon Castle. And those are the performances we need going into the playoffs. We're not going to always need the 30-point games. We have Wemby and Fox to do that. We need Castle to have distributing the ball. 11 and 12 is the perfect stat line I'm looking forward to in coming into these playoffs. Yeah, it was a team performance. Cade Cunningham was doing his thing. Over 25 points for him. He destroyed it last night. So really, really fun game last night. And we move on. We are cruising, guys. All right. Well, let's talk about other things around the NBA. We'll get back to the Spurs at the end. All right. The biggest news story going into the weekend is that Jason Tatum may be making his season debut tonight against the Mavericks. Cooper Flag is going into Boston with the Mavericks to take on the Celtics. And Cooper Flag, first time in Boston, might be playing against Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum has been out all season with an Achilles injury, going back to the playoffs last year where he tore his Achilles, making a miraculous return at this point. He's definitely following in the footsteps of Kobe. Kobe made his return, I believe, only 8 months after his Achilles injury, and now Tatum is doing it about 10 months after his Achilles injury. Just an unbelievable return. Great for the NBA. And the Eastern Conference should be on watch. Tatum's going to elevate this team, and you expect him to only be playing, 5-10 minutes probably to start the first game. I don't expect maybe 10 to 15, but it's really just going to get his sea legs under him for these first few matchups, and then they'll probably unleash him come playoff time if everything's pointing well for him in terms of his recovery. So let's see. Do you guys see Tatum and the Celtics making the NBA Finals? Because I do. I see the Celtics versus the Spurs right away in the NBA Finals. I think it's going to be an awesome matchup, and a matchup that I would really, really hope to see. Celtics versus Spurs in the Finals. Oh my God, that would be so much fun. All right, other things we want to talk about with that, Jaylen Brown it's been his team for the Celtics all year, and now Tatum is coming in. It's Brown's team going forward for this season. I know that. Brown has been a catalyst. He's definitely been an MVP candidate, top 5 clearly, and let's see how it's going to work. I mean, Tatum's definitely going to be not demanding the ball as much as he used to. He's definitely going to be, more hands off than he has been. He needs to rehab his injury. He needs to make sure he's good to be out on the court. And nothing's holding him back. So let's see. It's going to be really, really fun to watch that tonight. Definitely going to be tuning in to Celtics versus Mavericks tonight with the potential return of Jason Tatum. All right. Other things. So, we're getting very close to the end of the season, and I do want to talk about who do you guys have making the All-NBA team. I have my list, and let's see if they match up. All right, so first, my All-NBA first team. I did my first and second team. My third team is still pretty up in the air. Pretty up in the air at this point. So I think I have a solidified first and second. I do not have a solidified third. I think that really matters going into the last 15 games of who makes that third team. I do. I think first and second are pretty much locks. Definitely first is locks. The only way my first will get jumbled up is if the players do not hit the 65 game minimum. But I can almost guarantee that these are the 5 players that are going to be making the first All-NBA team. Maybe we'll talk about some discrepancies that might be different than other people have their All-NBA teams. So first, I have SGA from a guard position. SGA is potentially going back-to-back in MVPs if he can play out the rest of the season. So let's see, SGA definitely will be making All-NBA first team. Along with him, Nikola Jokic, definitely worrisome of him making the threshold of those 65 games. But if everything works out with the game threshold, he will be making another All-NBA first team. All right, last forward is Victor Wembanyama. Unbelievable season this year. Again, his stat lines last night really just show what his season's like. 5 blocks going with 28 points and 16 rebounds. Unbelievable. Future face of the league and just tearing it apart. Will be making, I believe, his first All-NBA first team. And then for the guards, I have both of them out of the East. Cade Cunningham and Jaylen Brown. Those are my 2 other guards other than SGA that I do have making the All-NBA first team. Cade Cunningham. Hey, we have his number. The Spurs definitely have Cade Cunningham's number, and I bet it's really pissing him off at this point. He's been unbelievable this season with the Pistons, and we've been able to give them 2 of their losses, and they don't have losses a lot. So it's pretty cool that the Spurs have been able to handle them this season, giving them 2 of their losses so far. Back-to-back games, February 24th and then March 5th. Very cool that we've been destroying the Pistons in the interconference matchups. They're a fun team, and they're going to be really good. I don't know if they can make the NBA Finals. I told you guys, I think it's the Celtics out of the East, especially with Tatum's return. And it's even before Tatum's return. If Tatum didn't play a minute this season, I would still be saying the Celtics to make the NBA Finals against our Spurs. So what do you guys think? All right, so let's move on to my All-NBA second team. So my second team is definitely a little more contentious. But I solidified them. All right, so number 1, Luka Doncic. He was my hardest to leave off the first team. I just don't see a spot for him getting in the first team. Maybe it's over Wemby, but I could not imagine them doing it. Could not imagine. Could not imagine. I really, really think Wemby deserves it, and Luka Doncic should be getting on the second team. His position in the standings just does not help his case. The Lakers are not a top 3 team, not a top 4 team in the conference. I think that should mean something. Definitely, he's not playing winning basketball. Obviously, it's the team makeup. I don't think that's all on him. But I believe all NBA teams should be reserved for those top conference guys. Unless you're, destroying on an MVP level, which Luka's not on that level this year. All right, other players that I have making All NBA second team. Donovan Mitchell, definitely I have Donovan Mitchell making the All NBA second team. He's been killing it for the Knicks, but like I've talked before, the Knicks have a really hard decision to make with their guards and their roster makeup overall. With a team of Mikal Bridges, Karl Anthony Towns, and Jalen Brunson, and Josh Hart, just really good role players now. Jose Alvarado. It's a very interesting timeline that they have. It's almost like they have to win now. It's almost guaranteed. Like this roster does not stay together next season if this roster doesn't win now. The Knicks already proved that they'll blow it up with firing Tom Thibodeau at the end of last season, of them making the NBA conference, Eastern Conference, and firing him. They beat Celtics shorthanded Jason Tatum. And then they blew that team up. They had all the matchups last season, and they weren't able to pull through. This season, they're full strength. Got Jose Alvarado to build up their bench, and Jalen Brunson is going to be wanting money. I think it will be time for the Knicks to move on from Jalen Brunson if they do not win the NBA Finals this year. I don't think it's even making the NBA Finals. I think they have to win to keep this roster together. I think it's that dire to keep that roster together. So it's going to be really, really tough for them. But yes, I do have Jalen Brunson. He's going to be getting up to like 38, 39 by the end of his contract. It's going to be really hard for the team to say we want to give him that contract when, we want to probably give that money to Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns at this point in their career. If you're able to get another point guard, Jalen Brunson definitely is that caliber of player, of great player. Just might be a situation of not worth the money. So we will see how that plays out. Very interested in how that plays out, especially. They're going to be having really tough decisions on the Knicks this offseason. If they don't win the NBA Finals, I don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening. All right, other players that I have making it. Anthony Edwards having an unbelievable season over on Minnesota. Kawhi Leonard, who we play this weekend. Very excited for the Clippers game tonight. And then, I said it, Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell. So those are my All-NBA teams players. So let's see how it plays out. All right, well, let's get on to this weekend preview. We play the Clippers tonight and then the Rockets on Sunday. We play the other Thompson brother on Sunday after beating his brother last night. No, he didn't have a lot of game, but I like playing the Twins same weekend. That's pretty cool. We play against Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers tonight. One of my favorite players in the league. Always has been. Nobody can make me quit on Kawhi. Interesting player. He really is the robot of the NBA. You never know what he's thinking. Had some disheartening comments about the team a few weeks ago after James Harden left, saying like, "Oh, we are who we are at this point in the season." And if it was rooting for NBA, I'm saying who we are. It's like, no, you haven't gotten to the playoffs yet. How do you know what team that you are if you haven't even played in the playoffs? Are you a contending team? Come on, Kawhi. Really expect more of that. So really excited to see that. One of the players I did leave off my first and second team that would obviously be a shoe-in for my third team. Hard to leave him off. My second team was Kevin Durant. Just really, really tough. Obviously, he is one of the best players in the league, and he would be one of my players on my NBA All NBA team, third team. So if you challenge me, let me know. He could be an All NBA second or first team. Just challenge me. What are your guys' thoughts on that? All right, well, that's all I have from Spurs Latest today. So happy to have you here. I will see you on Monday to recap the Clippers and the Rockets game, talk all about the weekend activity from the NBA, the best reality show on television. Thanks again. I'm Trip Graham, and I'll see you in the next one.